All right, you guys, I'm going to show you how to make a recipe. So what you're going to do, this has been a frequently asked question lately. You're going to click more, and then you're going to find my meals, recipes, and foods. So you'll click that. Notice all these recipes that I've made throughout the years. It's really nice if there's something that you know that you're going to probably cook again. I definitely recommend like making a recipe for it just because it's really worth it in the long run. So what you'll do is you'll click create a recipe, and you can add from the web or you can add ingredients manually. So it's really up to you which approach you want to take. The enter ingredients manually, that's more of like a homemade recipe. Like for me, I made my grandma's cookies. So I scanned everything in and did my own little recipe for it. Or you can do from the web, which I think is what most people do. So make sure you have the recipe pulled up, and you're going to copy and paste that link right here. Click paste and then go. It's going to take a minute. Notice it's scanning. You see that little circle? It's like scanning the recipe for ingredients right now. And then you're going to import recipe. From there, you're going to click that arrow in the upper right-hand corner. And this is where you can change the ingredients that you are using. Specifically, if there's anything you change, let's say you don't use the almond milk, you use something else, you can search for an alternative. And this is really nice because you can type in what you used, or again, I suggest using that scanning feature in the bottom right-hand side. So scan in what you're using if you're not using that exact thing. This is where you can edit the amounts. You can change everything. So right here, it says the amount of that it is calling for. So this is where you need to be very specific if you're making this recipe. And you can always edit it in the future. That's a cool thing too. So once you do that, let's just say I'm going to do this exact recipe. Then it's cool because it literally just pulls it up, right? So it did the calories, and it's saying the calories per serving is 1,700, right? And then total fat, total carbs, total protein. So let's click save and log it. And this is where you can kind of edit. So this is saying that one serving, I think it's saying like the whole batch is 1,700. So this is where you can divide however many. This is a little confusing. So I'm going to say that this is probably 1,700 for the whole thing, for one giant, depending on how big it is, like one giant cinnamon roll. So let's say you make it into 4 servings, right? You're going to put 0.25 underneath it. So one serving of that, like one fourth of the cinnamon, like it's a giant cinnamon roll batch, will be 426. So that's where you can get a little tricky. Some of the recipes will break it down into like the number of serving is like 500 calories per serving. Or what this is, from my understanding, is saying the whole thing, it's like one big giant cinnamon roll is 1,700. So you again can make it into 4 servings, 5 servings, whatever you do, just make sure you change that serving size into the proper amount. So that's how you do it. That is for how to create a recipe.